Now, if we are talking about food security, what is food security without the cold chain technology? Hello and welcome to another episode of LCFE Market Plus. My name is Joy Osamujame. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. Now, just like I said in my intro, food security is not just about how we grow our foods. It also involves how we preserve these foods. And if Nigeria has to be food secured, that means we must pay close attention to our cold room and storage facilities. Today, let's talk about the importance of cold chain technology to agriculture. And on set with me, I have Vera Iheanacho. She is the head agribusiness development and strategy Sterling Bank. Thank you so much for being on set with me.
Thank you so much, Joy.
Isn't she beautiful? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank
Vera, I know there are a lot of things that I would love to speak with you about, but I want to talk about cold chain technology. And that's because it's a pressing need in the agricultural value chain right now. According to report, we have more than 70% of our food that is going to waste. First of all, let's talk, what is the meaning of cold chain technology? Let's even start from there, because I'm sure so many persons don't even know.
All right, thank you very much. So good to be on set today to talk about something that is critical to, what we do in Sterling and how we have been able to dedicate a significant chunk of our lending portfolio to financing the sector. Cold chain technology, it's a system of storage that allows you to preserve foods, right, pharmaceutical drugs, right, for a longer time. It gives it, a longer shelf life, depending on when you are able to sell. And it's a system of supply chain, that allows you to preserve, the texture, the taste, the nutritional value of food for a longer time, pending when you're able to get a good market for it.
So why is this significant to agriculture? Why do we need to start embracing it?
It's very significant in agribusiness. I like to see agriculture as a business, right?
Exactly.
So you have to address the challenges as a businessman, So as like you rightly said, data says that for every 1 kg of food produced by the farmer, right, 50 to 75% of it gets lost, due to post-harvest losses, either lack of, good storage infrastructure like we're talking about, or transportation network, and even the processing, how it's been handled and packaged and delivered ultimately to the final consumer. All right, so it's very key that whatsoever the farmer has labored to produce, whatsoever the financier, the bank has funded, right, has to be adequately preserved and stored, right, such that the final consumers who need this produce can get it in the right, form, taste, and way it's supposed to be from the farm. So that's the value of cold chain technology or storage systems, because it sort of adds value to whatsoever the farmer has done. And when you add value, you command a higher price.
Now, there is this notion that cold chain or acquiring a cold chain technology in your agribusiness activities is kind of expensive. Please, I don't know, can you disabuse that notion, or what are you going to say about that?
Sure. I would definitely disabuse that. What we're doing as a bank is to democratize cold chain storage, such that wherever you are, whoever you are, if you have your produce, you can pay to store your produce, right? So you can enjoy storage as a service. As little as 250 naira, you are able to store your produce, pending when you can sell per day, right? So the myth that, affording cold chain storage solutions are very, no. Sterling is even able to finance and back solutions that are affordable, right, and accessible even for the smallholder, the micro businesses. So that's what we have done in the space.
Now, how can farmers plug into these cold chain opportunities that you're offering?
So fine, it depends on the value chain that the farmer is playing in, right? So farmers and where they are.
Most especially perishables.
Yeah, perishables, of course. For farmers that are in the vegetables value chain that sort of have a shorter shelf life, we're able to collaborate with vendors in the space who have been able to build, cold chain storage solutions at very critical locations, market locations, and even close to the farming hubs where those farmers are. So the farmers can just key into this service by either coming together as a cooperative or a community to get a cooling system, right? Or they can take their produce to the nearest cooling system in designated markets, like the Maltov market, very popular in Lagos, and store their produce at a very minimal fee, as little as 250 naira per day. So yeah, awesome. That's how they can leverage.
Now, are there disadvantages to this technology that people should be aware of?
No, not any disadvantage. That something that helps preserve food security, stores and even helps you command better market prices, right? So there are times when you are not able to sell your produce and the price drops. But if you're able to store it, you can command a better price at the start of the market day. So you're able to sell your produce and make more margin instead of being forced to sell because you cannot, preserve it for longer because it's perishable. No one would want to get what has been spoiled or rotten. So.
But I'll go back to the olden days. Our parents do not really like the fact that most time when you store food in the fridge, they say no, it's no longer fresh. You have to cook the food every day, right? So how are you going to liken that to this newfound technology?
Okay, so cold chain storage is a system. There's a science that backs it.
Okay.
Right, and most of us are not really informed. So, for example, even if you're storing your foods, there are certain foods that you can pair together, right? Even when you're storing it in the fridge, some have very ripening effects that sort of even ripen other, produce together, and some, like I mentioned, some produce releases ethylene gases as ripening agents that even ripens other foods together. Then the temperature too has to be set that bacteria cannot thrive, such that the taste is not lost. So of course, what we have done is to partner with experts that are able to scientifically modify the storage system, engineer the environment such that whatever you store, at least for a significant number of days, can be as fresh as when you're harvesting from the farm.
Awesome. So there is need for farmers to be aware of this technology. What are you doing to disseminate this information to farmers?
Okay, so as a bank, we're very present and we collaborate with, most of these organizations that have conferences, seminars, talk shows where we're able to, preach advocacy. We call it advocacy, agri advocacy. We also have a program where we talk. It's called the Agricultural Summit Africa. And we host webinars where we talk about food security, finance, access to finance to agricultural value chain, access to smart innovations like the cold chain storage system that sort of finances the entire ecosystem and not just individual players in the ecosystem.
That's awesome. All right, so you've heard it from Vera from Sterling Bank. If you are into agribusiness or any of the value chains of agriculture, most especially the ones that needs preservations, that means you need to start embracing the cold chain technology. Now, before we go for today, Vera, I want you to tell our audience one key word for agribusiness owners who should be embracing this technology but are yet to. What do you have to say to them?
All right. For anyone in agribusiness, what you have to think as a businessman is how you can constantly improve your income and preserve value. Whatever you are producing, right, has to be preserved, has to be stored. While you're making money for yourself, you're also championing food security. You're creating access to market, right? You're reducing post-harvest losses. And guess what? Post-harvest losses also contribute to greenhouse gas emission, right? Climate change. So these are things you think of. You think of the bigger picture as a businessman, how you're making money and also making the environment where you do your business safe and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vera, for being on set with me today. And thank you for staying tuned. Now, till I come your way, same time, do well to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's not all. Turn on your notifications button so you always get updates whenever we post anything on our platform. Do have a great week. Bye for now.